Gentlemen, welcome back to MGTOW Money. Today's topic, what did I tell this MGTOW about a Ponzi scheme? Before we get to that, thank you to the ongoing Patreon investors in this channel. Men, become a Patreon supporter of this channel. Let's get on to today's question. This comes straight from one of those Patreon investors, men. This is one of your MGTOW brothers. Joseph has asked me a question before I get to his question, Joseph, I think you're doing great. I think with your lifestyle changes that you're talking about, it's terrific. By the way, I'm going to include in the video description today a link to a book on RV living. I know that's something you had referenced. This is a real world book with practical ideas on living in an RV. I know that more than one MGTOW has referenced this idea. I think it is excellent if it fits your lifestyle. Let's get on to Joseph's question, though. He specifically asked me about Social Security for non-Americans, as well as just to educate some Americans. This is the government pension plan. Effectively, anyone who works within the United States pays some sort of tax into what's called the Social Security Trust Fund. I'm putting trust in quotes. I'll leave that aside for just a second, but they pay what is called a FICA tax, F-I-C-A tax, also known as a Social Security tax, into this quote-unquote trust fund. I'm going to try to stick with as many facts as possible about this. I'm going to try to leave aside as much as I possibly can my personal views about Social Security, etc. However, I am not a big fan of it, and frankly, yes, I think it is a Ponzi scheme. By the way, I will include a link to an article which discusses that idea more in detail. All right, let's get on to his question about Social Security and, frankly, how it can act as an excellent supplement, potentially, to his semi-retirement. Again, let's get to some facts here. First, for all Americans, I recommend, no matter what age you are, you establish a login, a username and password at the Social Security website, ssa.gov, ssa.gov. This will give you your earnings history literally going back decades. Furthermore, it'll provide you some idea, some basic idea at least, of how much you can expect in terms of Social Security benefit when you turn of retirement age. And I'm going to get into retirement ages in just a second, because there is not just one retirement age. Now, an additional detail that you need to be aware of regarding the actual dollar amount that you will be paid out, it is based upon the number of years that you've worked, and they're looking at actually a 35-year window, 35 years specifically of your earnings averaged over those 35 years. It's a rather complicated formula. Again, log in Social Security's website after you set up your username and password, and there's a calculator that will allow you to do various estimates. Now, getting to the age part of this, and again, I'm talking facts here, men. You can apply for Social Security when you turn age 62. And age 62, by the way, men, is the most popular age. So let me say very clearly and distinctly, any person who has worked within the United States for at least 10 years can apply for Social Security at age 62. Now, I'll talk about a drawback right now to doing that. If you were born in 1960, January 1st, 1960, or after, and you apply for Social Security at age 62, right when you turn 62, you will take a 30% cut in your benefits. So whatever your benefits are, you will take a 30% haircut in your benefits. Now again, let me emphasize, many people, approximately 40% of all people that take Social Security take it at age 62. I have a family member, well-educated individual. He chose to take it right when he turned 62. So it's up to you. Also, again, some additional facts you need to be aware of. The maximum payout that you will receive, at least today, at age 62 on Social Security is $2,158. Just to give you some idea of what you could expect maximum. The full retirement age, again, going back to the man who is 60, who was born in 1960 or thereafter, which I presume applies to probably 96% of the people that are listening to this video. Specifically, the full retirement age is 67. Therefore, you have no cut to take. And the maximum, again, based upon today's dollars, the maximum for a man at 67 today would be $2,788, so $2,788. If you choose to wait all the way till 70, the maximum that you could receive, absolute maximum, $3,678. So you can see you've got approximately a $1,500 spread between 62 and 70. If you break this out, men, it's about an 8% appreciation. In other words, you will get about 8% per year starting at age 62. So from 62 to 63, your benefit will increase about 8%, and thereafter 8% per year. Again, another fact you need to be aware of. The average payout, I couldn't find the median, but the average is $1,362 per month payout as of February of 2018. So again, just giving you some idea of what people can expect in terms of when they're looking at retirement, etc. Again, we're all different. You need to set up a Social Security log-on, and that at least will give you some idea of where you stand. Now, continue on with Joseph's question. He questioned me about, is it still going to be around? And the definitive answer, I'm going to make this as clear as possible, and of course I can't say this for a fact because I cannot predict the future, nor can anyone predict the future with certainty, but I'm going to attempt to right now. The answer is yes. Absolutely yes, Social Security will be around. And let me give you multiple reasons why. One, factually speaking, the Social Security program is the most popular government program by far of any other. About 80% or so of those polled are very, very happy, satisfied, whatever term you want to use, about Social Security. So that's one fact. Two, over 67 million people, 67 million Americans are receiving a Social Security check. Most of those, and by the way, that number of course is increasing as the baby boomers continue to retire. Most of those people, a very high percentage of those people, do something, they vote. Again, another reason why it's extremely likely that anybody who says, hey, I think we ought to eliminate Social Security, reduce it, etc., is probably not going to last very long in political office. Next, the government does actually have multiple options that they can use to fund Social Security. In other words, where they can actually increase the amount of money that's being directed towards Social Security. I'm just going to mention three ideas that I was thinking of. One, and this has been discussed, some of these have been discussed, is increasing the payroll taxation rate. For a person who earns above approximately $128,000 a year in the United States, at $128,000, beyond that, they don't pay any additional Social Security. It has been discussed that they might raise that to like $200,000 or $300,000. Again, I'm not getting into the politics. I'm just speaking what people have proposed. Two, they could also increase the general taxation among all Americans. Or, again, there could be some sort of special tax applied to, quote, just millionaires, quote unquote. Or they could also reduce payouts, reduce Social Security payouts for those of upper income, of certain income levels. Again, these are just things that have been proposed. I'm not editorializing. I'm just bringing the facts to your attention. These are ideas. And of course, the ultimate solution, leaving everything that I've just discussed, the federal government, of course, has the ability to print money, meaning that the federal government can print unlimited amounts of money at will, whatever amounts that they want, whenever they want. Hey, if we're a few $1 trillion short here, we'll just type in a few keystrokes and all of a sudden we'll appear with a few $1 trillion. Now, it goes without saying, you end up with a situation like Zimbabwe, you end up with a situation like Venezuela, etc., when you do that type of activity in terms of hyperinflation. Leaving that aside, the bottom line is that you will get a Social Security check of X amount of dollars. And again, leaving the politics aside, we don't know of the actual value in terms of what you'll be able to exchange for that Social Security check. But again, in 10 words or less, Social Security will be around for many, many decades to come, I expect. All right, gentlemen, let's quick summarize here. Social Security should be part of your overall retirement plan and can be a nice supplement to a man's income. In particular, for a man that might want to retire early or go into some sort of like semi-retirement, let's say at age 50, for example, and then he's looking to have a bridge between age 50 and of course, he could start taking Social Security at age 62 and even slow down even more so in terms of the work that he's doing or adjust the type of work that he's doing, etc. Again, Social Security, in my opinion, will be around for many decades to come. Furthermore, I'm going to leave aside the dollars and cents of it. I'm well aware of the budgetary issues regarding Social Security. Those have been hotly debated for years. Inevitably, this is a very complicated situation, but men never forget, at the very least, the federal government has the ultimate right called the legal tender laws, and they can print unlimited quantities of money, and that could be ugly. But needless to say, they do have that ability. So, gentlemen, I hope you found this useful. Hit the like button if you haven't already. Patreon investors, keep sending in your comments, questions, concerns on personal finance and things that are keeping you up at night relative to your rich life that you do deserve. John Galt, out.